Most students go through their academic journey believing they need constant external validation. They rely on good grades for self-worth, the approval of peers, or the comfort of study groups. And when these things are taken away or don't go as planned, they feel lost. But what if I told you that the greatest strength, the deepest sense of academic and personal freedom, comes when you no longer need anyone in this way? When you become self-sufficient not just academically with your studies, but emotionally, mentally, and even socially, you unlock a level of independence that no one can take from you. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that true power lies in self-mastery, in the ability to stand strong whether surrounded by classmates or studying completely alone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man should be upright, not kept upright. Your foundation should not be built on others. It should be built on you." In this session, we'll dive into the core principles of Stoicism that will help you break free from external dependence as a student, become your own source of strength in your studies and life, and cultivate an unshakable sense of self-reliance. By the end, you'll see that when you master these lessons, you won't need anyone to succeed because everything you seek, the motivation, the confidence, the answers, you will find within yourself. Before we continue, please support and encourage us by hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. Let's begin with the first principle. 1. Learn to be your own best companion in your studies and beyond. How comfortable are you in your own company, especially when it comes to your studies? Can you sit alone to focus without reaching for distractions like social media? Can you get through a tough assignment or a bad grade without needing someone else to lift you up? Most students can't. They fill their study time with noise, group chats, and endless external validation because they haven't learned how to be their own best academic and personal companion. But here's the truth. If you can't focus and find satisfaction in your own study and personal time, why would anyone else's approval truly fulfill you? The idea of self-sufficiency is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom in your student life isn't just about having free time. It's found in mastering your mind and emotions in the face of academic pressure and social dynamics. When you cultivate inner stability, you no longer depend on others for motivation, security in your abilities, or fulfillment in your learning. So, how do you become your own best companion as a student? Embrace solitude for focused study and reflection. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's power. Many students fear being alone with their thoughts and their work because they associate it with isolation. But the Stoics saw solitude as a place of growth. Seneca wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Learn to spend time with yourself without feeling restless. Read your textbooks, reflect on what you've learned, and strengthen your inner world of knowledge. Engage in deep self-reflection on your learning and progress. The Stoics practiced a form of self-auditing every day. Marcus Aurelius would write in his journal, analyzing his thoughts, actions, and emotions. For you as a student, this isn't about self-criticism after a bad grade. It's about self-awareness. Ask yourself, what did I learn well today? What study habits could I have handled better? Where am I still relying on others for understanding that I should be figuring out myself? These questions will help you understand where you need to grow next academically and personally. Develop self-sufficiency in small academic ways. If you feel uncomfortable studying a challenging topic alone, try it anyway. If you always reach for a classmate's notes immediately when confused, pause and try to work through it yourself first. If you rely on others for emotional reassurance after an exam, start comforting yourself by acknowledging your effort. These small acts build the foundation of academic independence. Cultivate personal interests outside of academics. Many students attach their sense of self entirely to their academic performance. When things don't go well academically, they feel empty. But when you have personal passions, whether it's a hobby, fitness, or creative pursuits, you always have something that brings you fulfillment no matter your grades or who is in your study group. Stop waiting for others to motivate, support, or rescue you academically. You are your own responsibility when it comes to learning. You are your own greatest academic ally. The sooner you realize that, the stronger you become. Marcus Aurelius put it best. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. Once you master this, you stop fearing studying alone, you stop desperately seeking validation through grades, and you stop needing others to make you feel like a capable student because you are already enough. 2. Master the art of saying no to distractions and unnecessary commitments. How often do you say yes to social events or extracurriculars when you really need to focus on studying? How many times have you agreed to group projects where you end up doing most of the work just to avoid conflict or disappointing others? Most students struggle with this because they fear missing out, rejection from peers, or being seen as unhelpful. But here's the reality. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your academic goals or your well-being, you are saying no to your own success and peace of mind. The Stoics understood that boundaries are essential for a strong and independent life, especially for a focused student. They believed that self-discipline and inner control were far more valuable than external approval. Seneca wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In other words, if you don't set your own academic direction, others will do it for you. If you want to be a free and self-reliant student, you must master the art of saying no. So how do you do that? Recognize that saying no is an act of self-respect for your time and goals. Many students associate saying no with being rude or unkind. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value. If you value your study time, your energy for learning, and your peace of mind during stressful academic periods, then protecting them is not selfish, it's necessary. When you say no to things that drain you, you create space for things that empower your learning. Understand that you are not responsible for others' reactions to your boundaries. A lot of students struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing peers or professors. But Epictetus teaches, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Not everyone will like your boundaries, and that's okay. Your job is not to please everyone. Your job is to live in alignment with what is best for your academic progress and personal well-being. Practice saying no with confidence. Many students say no in a hesitant, apologetic way, which makes them more likely to be pressured into changing their minds. Instead, say no directly and firmly. You don't need an elaborate excuse. A simple no, I can't commit to that right now, or I have other academic priorities is enough. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Protect your time like it's your most valuable resource for learning. Think about how easily students waste hours on distractions because they're afraid to say no to social invitations or procrastination. But time is the one thing you can never get back. If you want to live a strong, independent academic life, treat your study time as sacred. Before saying yes to anything, ask yourself, does this align with my learning goals? Will this bring me closer to academic success or peace of mind? If the answer is no, then your response should be no as well. Detach from guilt when setting academic boundaries. Many students feel guilt when they start prioritizing their studies over everything else. But guilt is just a habit. The more you practice saying no to distractions, the easier it becomes. And here's something to remember. The people who truly respect you as a student will respect your need to focus. The ones who don't, they were never truly on your side academically to begin with. Remind yourself that every no to something unimportant is a yes to something meaningful for your future. The Stoics believed in focusing on what truly matters. Every unnecessary commitment, every draining social obligation that takes away from study time, every meaningless distraction you remove from your life makes room for academic growth, peace, and freedom. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The same goes for obligations. If something doesn't serve your academic progress, revoke its power over your life. Once you master the art of saying no, you take back control of your academic journey. You stop feeling pulled in 1,000 directions. You stop living on other people's schedules. You become more focused, more powerful in your learning, and ultimately more academically free. 3. Build unshakable self-confidence in your academic abilities. Most students think confidence is something you're born with, a trait reserved for the naturally gifted or the most outspoken. But the truth is, confidence is built, not given. It's a result of how you think, how you act in your studies, and how you talk to yourself about your learning every single day. If you feel like you lack confidence in a particular subject or your overall academic abilities, it's not because you're incapable. It's because you haven't trained your mind to believe in your own academic strength. And that's something you can change starting now. Confidence isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about having a quiet, steady belief in yourself and your capacity to learn, even when no one else sees it yet. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, confidence isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about being so focused on your own academic growth that you no longer care about their judgments. If you want to build unshakable self-confidence as a student, the first thing you must do is stop seeking external validation for your academic worth. Too many students tie their confidence to grades, praise from professors, or approval from classmates. If they receive praise, they feel good. If they face criticism or a bad grade, they crumble. But here's a simple truth. The moment your confidence depends on other people's opinions of your academic performance, you have already lost control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. True academic confidence comes when you no longer need constant approval because you know your own effort and capabilities. Change how you talk to yourself about your studies. Most students destroy their own academic confidence before the teacher even hands back the graded paper. They tell themselves, I can't understand this, I'm not good enough at this subject, or I'm going to fail. If you wouldn't say those words to a fellow student who's struggling, why say them to yourself? The Stoics practiced mental discipline not just in action, but in thought. Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Train yourself to think in a way that supports your learning, not limits it. Instead of, I'm bad at math, say, I'm improving my understanding of math every day. Instead of, I don't belong in this challenging course, say, I deserve my place here, and I will prove it to myself through hard work. Your brain listens to what you repeat, so repeat what builds you up academically. Take action in your studies even before you feel completely ready. Confidence doesn't come from just thinking, it comes from doing. Many students wait until they feel completely confident before tackling a difficult assignment or participating in class. But the truth is, confidence is built through action. You don't become a strong writer by waiting until you feel fearless. You become fearless by writing. You don't gain confidence in your understanding by hesitating. You gain confidence by trying, making mistakes, learning from them, and improving. Every small step you take in your studies strengthens the belief that you are capable. Embrace failure as an inevitable part of academic growth. Most students lack confidence because they fear failing an exam or a course. But the Stoics saw failure differently. Epictetus said, difficulties show what men are. Therefore, when a difficult concept or a bad grade falls upon you, remember that it's an opportunity to learn and grow. Every setback, every mistake, every academic challenge is like a weight at the gym for your mind. It strengthens you. The only way to build academic confidence is to keep going even when things don't go as planned. Carry yourself with academic confidence even when you don't fully feel it. Your posture, your voice in class, and your body language while studying sends signals to your brain. If you slump your shoulders while studying, avoid eye contact when asking for help, and hesitate in your movements when presenting, your mind follows that pattern. But when you sit up straight while studying, make eye contact when asking questions, and move with certainty when you know the answer, your brain starts to believe it. Act confident in your academic pursuits, and confidence will follow. Confidence isn't given. It's earned through mindset, self-discipline in your studies, and consistent action. And when you build it from within, no one can take it away from you. You won't need anyone to reassure you, to lift you up after a bad grade, or to tell you that you're capable because you'll already know. 4. The power of solitude for finding your own academic answers. Most students fear solitude, especially when it comes to their studies. They see being alone with their textbooks as a sign of falling behind or missing out, as if their academic worth depends on constant collaboration and external validation. But what if I told you that solitude is not your enemy? It's your greatest source of academic strength. The ability to sit with your study material undistracted is a superpower few students cultivate. Yet the Stoics knew that true wisdom, clarity of understanding, and self-mastery and learning come from within, not from the noise of group chats and study sessions alone. Seneca wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." If you want to reach a level of academic independence where you no longer need constant external input to understand and succeed, you must embrace the power of solitude in your learning. Solitude isn't about academic isolation. It's about focused reflection on what you are learning. When was the last time you spent dedicated time alone with your course material without distractions? No phone, no music with lyrics, no conversations, just you and the concepts. Most students avoid this because they're afraid of what they might find: a lack of understanding, boredom. They fill every study moment with noise, scrolling through social media during breaks, constantly seeking external stimulation. But the truth is, until you can sit with your own mind in stillness and focus on the material, you will always be dependent on something outside of you for academic comfort and understanding. When you cultivate solitude for study, you start to hear your own understanding more clearly. You notice your thought patterns about the subject and your specific areas of confusion without external influence. You begin to understand what truly makes sense to you rather than just memorizing what someone else said. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily, reminding himself, "People seek retreats for themselves in the country, by the sea, in the mountains, but nowhere can a man find a retreat more peaceful or free from trouble than his own soul." The greatest academic wisdom isn't found in seeking answers solely from others. It's found in asking yourself the right questions and wrestling with the material in solitude. So how do you harness the power of solitude for academic success? Schedule dedicated time for solitary study and reflection. Just like you set aside time for classes, assignments, or socializing, set aside time for being alone with your studies. Even 15 to 20 minutes a day of focused, solitary work can shift your entire mindset towards the material. Sit in silence with your notes, go for a walk and think about a challenging concept, or simply observe your own thought process while trying to solve a problem without immediately looking up the answer. Use solitude to strengthen your academic mind. The Stoics practiced journaling as a way to refine their thoughts and emotions before the world influenced them. As a student, each morning or after a lecture, take a few minutes to jot down what's on your mind regarding the course material. Ask yourself, what are the key concepts I'm working toward understanding? What specific challenges or problems do I need to prepare for? What kind of learner do I want to be today? These simple questions force you to engage with your own understanding rather than being passively swept up in external explanations. Turn solitude into a tool for academic growth. Use this time to sharpen your skills, to read ahead, to challenge your understanding with practice problems. Most students avoid solitude because they associate it with boredom or feeling stuck. But boredom is simply an untrained mind craving constant external stimulation. Train your mind to thrive in the focused quiet of solitude, and you will become an unshakable learner. Realize your ability to be alone with your studies determines the quality of your collaborative learning. Here's something most students don't realize. If you fear studying alone, you'll cling to study groups out of need rather than choice. You'll tolerate unproductive group sessions just to avoid facing the material on your own. But when you master solitary study, you stop relying on others for basic understanding. Instead, you choose to collaborate based on genuine connection and the desire for deeper insights, not dependency. Solitude is where you find clarity on the fundamentals. It's where you build inner academic peace and confidence. It's where you become your own greatest source of academic strength. The academic world will always be noisy, full of different interpretations, distractions, and external pressures. But when you know how to retreat within yourself to focus and understand, nothing outside of you can shake your academic foundation. And when you reach that point, you realize something powerful. You never needed constant hand-holding to learn. You only needed yourself fully present, fully aware, fully in control of your own learning process. 5. Be your own academic hero. Stop waiting to be saved by others. Most students go through their academic lives waiting for the perfect study group to form, waiting for the professor to spoon-feed them the answers, waiting for a classmate to share their notes, waiting for a mentor to magically make things click, waiting for someone to rescue them from a failing grade. But here's the truth. No one is coming to magically save your academic performance. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll realize the only person you've ever needed to succeed academically is you. The Stoics believe that strength comes from self-reliance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must build up your own mind and not be dependent on outside help." Yet so many students waste semesters hoping for an academic savior when they should be saving themselves through focused effort and self-directed learning. Think about it. How much time have you spent hoping someone else would explain a concept perfectly, a tutor would magically fix your understanding, or a group project partner would carry the weight? But what happens when no one comes through in the way you hoped? That's when you have two choices: sink into self-pity about your academic struggles, or rise up and take control of your own learning. Becoming your own academic hero starts with one decision: stop waiting and start acting on your own initiative. If you're waiting for the right moment to start studying seriously, create it now. If you're waiting for someone to motivate you to tackle that challenging assignment, push yourself. If you're waiting for the course to get easier, it likely won't, so become a stronger learner instead. Epictetus taught, "How long will you wait before you demand the best of yourself?" The academic world owes you nothing, and the only way forward to success is through your own effort. The second step is to stop expecting others to complete your understanding. Many students fall into the trap of thinking that a study partner, a tutor, or even the professor will fill the gaps in their knowledge. But the Stoics remind us that true fulfillment in learning comes from within your own effort to understand. Seneca wrote, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." If you rely on others for understanding, you give them control over your academic progress. But when you cultivate inner strength and self-directed learning, you take that power back. Develop unshakable academic resilience. Your academic journey will test you. You will face challenging courses, difficult exams, and perhaps even failures. That's inevitable. But how you respond to those challenges is entirely within your control. The Stoics believe that hardship was the forge that shapes character. Instead of asking, "Why is this course so hard for me?" ask, "How can I learn and grow from this challenge?" Every academic obstacle is an opportunity to become a stronger, wiser, and more self-reliant learner. Take full responsibility for your academic life. No more blaming the professor for a confusing lecture. No more making excuses for not studying. No more waiting for the perfect conditions. Own your understanding, own your effort, or lack thereof, and own your results. Your failures? Own them and learn from them. Your academic growth? Pursue it relentlessly. When you take full responsibility, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start acting as the hero of your own academic story. Commit to academic self-discipline. An academic hero isn't just someone who pulls an all-nighter before a final. They are someone who trains for the academic battle every day. That battle could be against procrastination, distraction, or self-doubt. Build habits that strengthen your academic abilities. Wake up early to study. Train your mind with challenging problems. Read ahead and push yourself beyond your comfort zone of familiar topics. Every disciplined act of studying is another step toward your own academic success. No one is coming to save you academically, and that is the most liberating realization you can have. Because once you stop waiting, you start doing, and when you take full ownership of your academic life, you realize something powerful. You were your own academic hero all along. 6. Free yourself from toxic academic relationships and limiting beliefs about your abilities. Nothing weighs a student down more than the wrong study groups, competitive and undermining classmates, and the wrong mindset about their own learning potential. You cannot learn freely, think clearly, or grow fully when your energy is constantly drained by toxic academic relationships and limiting beliefs about what you're capable of. If you want to reach a point where you don't need constant external support and validation in your studies, you must first remove the people and thoughts that make you feel like you can't succeed on your own. The Stoics were ruthless in their pursuit of inner peace and self-mastery, which extends to choosing your company wisely. Epictetus warned, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." But most students do the opposite. They hold on to unproductive study groups out of fear of being alone. They entertain friendships that constantly distract them. They stay in competitive environments that crush their confidence, and they maintain connections that serve no real academic purpose other than habit. But here's the truth. If someone is costing you your peace of mind and hindering your learning, They are too expensive to keep in your academic life. Toxic academic relationships come in many forms. Some classmates constantly criticize your understanding, making you doubt yourself. Others use you for your notes and explanations without contributing equally. And then there are those who pretend to support you yet subtly undermine your confidence because they fear being outshined. The Stoics would tell you this: you owe nothing to those who hinder your academic progress. You don't have to justify distancing yourself from people who refuse to respect your study time, value your contributions, or support your learning journey. But the greatest chains aren't just external, they're internal. Your limiting beliefs about your own intelligence and abilities are just as toxic as any negative peer. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not smart enough for this subject," or "I'll never understand this," you are your own worst enemy in your academic pursuits. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. What you believe about yourself academically determines your reality. If you believe you are weak in a certain subject, you will likely avoid challenges and underperform. If you believe you are capable of learning, you will push forward no matter the obstacles. So how do you free yourself from these toxic influences? Evaluate every academic relationship in your life. Ask yourself, does this study group add value to my understanding, or does it mostly lead to distractions? Does this classmate uplift my learning, or do they make me feel inadequate? If someone constantly drains your energy, belittles your efforts, or brings negativity into your study space, distance yourself. You do not have to make a dramatic exit. Just step back, reduce interactions, and redirect your energy to your own focused study. Rewrite your beliefs about yourself as a learner. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought, "I can't do this. I always fail at exams. I'm not good enough at writing." Stop. Challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought based on reality, or is it something I've been conditioned to believe? Then, replace it with a stronger, more positive belief. Train your mind to support your learning rather than work against you. Set boundaries and enforce them in your academic interactions. The moment you start demanding respect for your study time, your intellectual energy, and your peace of mind, you'll see who truly respects you as a student. Some people will try to test your limits. Stay firm. Those who value your learning will adapt. Those who don't will likely drift away, and that's exactly what needs to happen. Be ruthless in protecting your academic peace. Walk away from gossip about classmates, from negativity about courses, from anything that does not align with the kind of successful and self-reliant student you are becoming. The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can control, and you can control who you allow into your academic life and what beliefs you allow into your mind. Let go of toxic academic relationships. Erase limiting beliefs. Free yourself from anything that holds you back academically. Because once you do, you'll realize something. You were never academically weak. You were just surrounded by the wrong energy and the wrong self-talk. 7. True academic independence comes at a cost. Are you ready to pay it? Everyone wants academic success, but few are willing to pay the price for it. True academic independence, the kind where you don't need constant external guidance and validation, comes at a cost. It requires discipline, sacrifice of immediate gratification for long-term goals, and a willingness to walk the path of learning alone when necessary. Most students say they want to be self-sufficient learners, yet they cling to comfort, the easy answers, and constant approval from others. The question is, are you truly ready to pay the price of academic independence? The Stoics believe that nothing valuable comes without effort. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Academic independence is earned, not given. It is forged in the discomfort of challenging material, in the moments when you push yourself beyond what is easy and convenient. The first cost of academic independence is detachment from external academic approval. If your confidence as a student rises and falls based on grades or what others think of your understanding, you're not truly free. You are a prisoner of external validation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Living your academic life for others' approval means you never truly learn for yourself. To be academically independent, you must let go of the need to be constantly praised, understood perfectly by everyone, or validated by high grades alone. Embracing academic discomfort. Most students seek the comfort of familiar subjects and easy tasks. But comfort breeds dependency on the simple and the known. Academic independence means being okay with uncertainty, with tackling challenging topics, with doing the hard work of understanding even when it's frustrating. It means waking up early to study when you'd rather sleep in, working harder on a difficult problem when no one is watching, and training your mind to be resilient in the face of academic setbacks. Epictetus taught, difficulties show what men are. Every academic hardship you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can stand on your own two intellectual feet, walking the path of learning alone when necessary. True academic independence means you will not always have a study group or someone to rely on for every question. There will be times when no one understands your specific struggles with a concept, when no one can explain it in the exact way you need, when you have to move forward in your understanding without a safety net of constant collaboration. Most students give up at this stage because they fear feeling lost or falling behind. But here's a Stoic truth. Solitude in study is where true understanding and intellectual strength are built. It's where you find out what you really know without the crutch of others' explanations. Cultivating academic self-discipline. You cannot rely on motivation alone to succeed academically. It fades. Independence means building habits that push you forward in your learning even when you don't feel like it. Consistent study schedules, focused attention in class, diligent completion of assignments. Whether it's your understanding of core concepts, your time management, or your mindset towards learning, being academically independent means taking full responsibility for every area of your academic life. No more excuses for not studying, no more waiting for inspiration to strike. Seneca said, "While we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away." Academic independence means acting now, not later. Accepting full accountability for your academic journey. No more blaming difficult professors, unfair exams, or lack of resources. If something is hindering your learning, find a way to fix it. If you are not where you want to be academically, change your approach. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Everything you in.